You have to be agile. You have to be open-minded if you want to continue to capitalize on opportunities in this industry. It moves way too fast.
So I've never gamed on this communication device, but I know I'm probably...
See this here?
Right?
This is a communication device, not a gaming console, I tell you.
This thing. All right, moving on. Let's talk about actual
video games.
Esports. Let's talk about
shit.
what is esports.
Okay. What is esports? Me. I am.
You are esports.
Yeah. All right,
I am
next segment.
esports.
Next
Hear me
segment.
roar. Let's talk about the top 10 esports by viewership in 2021. This list.
Year of the pandemic.
Fucking blew my
Year
mind.
of people dicing with death to try and get out there and run events, right? Right, try to, a few other things. Yeah, like taking risks, yeah?
Yes, yes.
And sometimes getting their event shut down, but people were still wanting to push the boundaries of what a live event can be, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a fascinating year, Scott, to look at.
Yes, but I think the most fascinating thing was the freaking amount of mobile games that are on this list.
Yes. Well,
Right?
let's hype it up a little bit more. And
Yeah,
drum roll, please.
So, number 10, mid-season invitational MSI League of Legends PC game. Perhaps you've heard of it, most popular PC game on the
Indie
planet.
game dev.
Number 10 on the list.
Yeah, and that, I think the numbers are already, I think it's 1.83 million viewers peak. This article obviously breaks it down a little bit here. MLBB, if you don't know about this...
I don't.
You might be forgiven. This is Mobile Legends Bang Bang. So obviously, Mobile Legends, I guess Bang Bang is the tournament circuit is what it's called.
Okay.
It's mobile, it's Wild Rift, but with the pits, like it looks more like Roshan pit, like the way the river is constructed looks a little bit different, but it's basically, it's your classic MOBA formula.
But wait, who makes this game?
I don't fucking know.
So, should
Am
we
I
roll
supposed
back
to
to the
know?
copyright discussion then? How much of League of Legends does it look like?
Do you think they give a fuck in Asia? I'm sorry. Do you think they really give a shit?
Did the copyright story just make it into our top 10
But
story?
this was the Indonesian league of MLBB.
Okay.
Southeast Asia, I mean, Jesus, even dickheads on LinkedIn have picked this up. Southeast Asia and esports is blowing up. And it's mobile esports, right?
Yeah.
Obviously very different revenue structure, I think, in some ways to our traditional esports here, but Mobile Legends is kind of big.
Yeah, and again, this list is based on peak concurrent viewership, not prize money. Obviously, you see the international strolling by. That was they set their own internal record. That is the highest international watched of all of them. I think it was the 10th one. And so they keep setting their own records. Right below that, you've got Counter-Strike Major. It set a new Counter-Strike Major record, beating E-League. Sorry, Jason. Yours was still better. And even a couple of the matches before the final broke E-League. And again, I think where I think the cool thing,
Why?
I think the asterisk for Counter-Strike is not the cool thing, is that we went 2 years without a major.
Stop scrolling.
So we were obviously desperate to get it going again. So that helped. Navi rolling. Sis is a big fucking demographic for viewership. So I think that's what helped set those records.
Was this a sigh of relief with Valorant trying to compete for market share?
I have never worried about the two because I think they're different enough.
Okay.
I think they're different enough for viewership and player base, right? So I never worried about that. Now, yeah, certainly if you did worry about that, you go, yeah, well, didn't hurt us. We set another record. Yeah. Now, what I don't know, because I'm not in the financial side of TOing either of these, is Counter-Strike suffering because...
I mean, they didn't make money. We have established this, right,
well,
on this
sure.
page.
Well, we know that, yeah, obviously. But, like, when you get into the world of TOs, are advertisers and sponsors taking money away from Counter-Strike to give it to Valorant TOs instead? Is that happening, Is that money moving around? I don't know.
Sure.
But obviously the viewership is A-okay for us. And again, that major also has a shitload of fucking issues, right? So, yeah. And Navi crushed it. Where are we at? Number 5. So then we get back to this Mobile Legends. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're on here 4 times.
Yeah. So Mobile Legends, this is the M2. Well, I'm going to pretend like to talk like I know what I'm talking about.
M3 World Championship.
M2 World Championships here. So 3.08 million. So there are multiple. There are 2, I think, World Championships for MLBB. This is still Southeast Asia, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
this one, I mean, yeah. So the game looks good. I mean, but I could just play Wild Rift and maybe have more familiar characters there. And then the M3 World Championship goes straight right next to it. This was the most viewed esports events ever in the MLBB, right? This is the Mobile Legends Bang Bang. So
Crazy stuff.
yeah, look, 3.19 million viewers here. Again, lower average viewership at higher peak.
And then coming in, hey, look, there's PUBG. Oh, wait.
No, not.
Oh, wait. PUBG Mobile.
This game, mate, I'm telling you, I was talking to my partner's sister's au pair from Hungary. She's like, I don't know, like, mid to early 20s. Okay. She's like, yeah, I play PUBG Mobile with my friends. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, yeah, I watch PUBG Mobile Esports as well. So, again, this tells me, Scott, that huge player bases feed into huge viewership, right? Especially because it's quite likely that they heavily incentivize this by offering drops and in-game stuff. There are ways to convert, like fucking imagine if they did with the Overwatch League.
Yeah.
But, huge viewership for PUBG Mobile, and again, these BRs on mobile still getting work done. And here's League of Legends World, Scott, with 4.01 million.
Yeah. Again, they set a new record for that event for them. Again, record. The cool thing about this list, yeah, we're fucking riffing on how much mobile on here. We don't do mobile esports very often. Well, I don't do any. But all these numbers, records from their previous, right? That's a good thing. And again, we're coming out of everyone locked up for a long time, and people. And again, a lot of these were without spectators, weren't necessarily full arena events like we were used to. And again, League of Legends just still crushing it. And I always tune in for the.
I mean, it just tells you how far ahead
production.
they are, Scott.
Oh, God.
I mean, like, you set new Counter-Strike records for the PGL Major, and you're like a little bit more than half of their viewership.
Yeah. And then I look at that. I look at your point and go, yep, absolutely right. But then I go, like 1.4 million more watched Free Fire World Series, also a mobile game, right? Number one. 5.41 million, and I guess Free Fire is a battle royale, 4v4v4v4, 20
squad
teams, based, but it's PUBG basically.
Well, it's PUBG meets Fortnite because you have like more of the fantastical elements in that game as well.
Got it.
Motherfuckers hiding behind ice walls like they're Crustal in Pokemon Unite. You know what I mean? There's I mean, look, I'm not going to dive into the details of what Free Fire is. You can look it up yourself. But look, it's really popular in Latin America as well.
Okay.
And Brazil. So
here we
here's
go.
a good example,
Okay,
right?
great.
See, Loud is a massive organization from Latin America, for example. But this is global. This game is fucking global, man. People from all around. Is that Supermassive, Blaze? I'm not sure what their logo is, but. If you watched the Esports Awards, if you were there in person, you saw just how much of that was dominated by talk of the mobile game market, specifically Free Fire. A lot of their players were up for like Player of the Year awards and stuff like that. It's just not something that's really in our purview as, let's say, Western esports consumers, because we all have PCs. I think the reality is that like there's such a huge market in Latin America and Southeast Asia especially, and these are very populous markets. Who spend a lot of time on this stuff. Again, like, it's a little bit... so it's a little bit insufficient to just be like, a mobile game's going to take over the world. I think they'll carve out a significant amount of market share, but there's obviously a few things you just can't do with mobile games, right? But I will admit that I definitely think that, if you're ignoring them, you're making a big mistake. This is 5.41 million peak as compared to League of Legends with 4.01, right? And they're way ahead of the rest of their competition. PUBG wasn't far behind League Worlds, right? This is all the production value, all this sort of high-profile talent. At the end of the day, that you can't beat games that have huge market shares, that are accessible. And if you can convert that gigantic player base, even a fraction of it, into esports viewership, you get number one. You get the biggest viewed event in the world.
Well, and I think you make a very valid point. Again, there they are. They're playing on phones right there in front of us. Again, just like a setup you would see in esports with a console or a PC station, but just all wired in with their phones. Yeah. Really, really interesting. And I guess
Do you have a problem calling that an esport?
No, not at all. I know. I mean, people competing on a game with some sort of organized rule set and admins and elevated.
It's good for me, right?
It's a fucking esport. But I guess for me, the reason I've never given it any thought, and in all honesty, probably went whatever. Because I remember I went to like WCG years ago when I was with EG, like in Chengdu, and a couple of the.
Oh, dude, I would love to have gone there.
Yeah, it was cool.
Did you have the Mapo tofu? So I'm getting off topic now, but I know like their spicy food out there is fucking lit.
It was really spicy. Yeah, it was good. There were a couple mobile US players that were coming for the mobile games, and like we were fucking with them and shit. And like it might have even been Rachel's boyfriend Torch. Might have been playing a mobile game. Yeah, like Redstone or something. I'm like, yeah, that's not fucking just taking the piss out of him, right? And I think now in retrospect, I'm like, God, I missed the whole thought of this. And I think part of it for me is I don't game on my phone. Mm-hmm. Zero games on here. Never had a desire. I have a Switch. I've got other mobile if I'm on a phone.
How much do you commute?
I don't.
So you don't hands-free commute at all, right?
No, and if I did, like when I used to fly, when I did travel for a living, you know, as event logistics, all that, I had my Switch, or before that, I had my fucking PSP, or I had a book or a tablet, and I watched a movie. So I've never gamed on this communication device, but I know I'm probably...
See this here? Right? This is a communication device, not a gaming console, I tell you.
This thing. But I am in the minority, maybe, right?
No, definitely.
Right? Which is... So I shouldn't be shocked by this fucking list at all.
No.
Right?
Absolutely not.
At all.
I'm telling you, fuck me. Esports is changing so much, right? This is why like people like Thorin and Simon blow my mind because they're so steadfast and old-fashioned. Like this shit, every time you look out the window, the world changes in esports. You have to be agile. You have to be open-minded if you want to continue to capitalize on opportunities in this fucking industry. It moves way too fast, all right? Doesn't mean you have to have a middle name blockchain pay-to-earn games on fucking LinkedIn and be spamming everybody. But you need to be aware of which way the wind's blowing. In this direction, it clearly is. This is obviously Mobile Legends, by the way. So, you know, but I love it. Wild Rift, by the way, it slaps. They've done a really good job of making it quite intuitive. But I'm like you, man. I commute on the fucking plane, but I can't play on the Wi-Fi because you need good internet. Like, you need a decent device for it. This is real, right? These people in Southeast Asia, they might not own PC, Scott, but you best fucking believe they got a mobile phone. See, now, if we had a BlizzCon where someone walked out there timidly and was like, oh, you guys have phones, it might have been received with a little bit more gusto.
Yeah. No, again, I probably haven't given it the credit it's great. And obviously, not only... I think part of it is the stigma that like mobile games, they're pay to win and it's click, 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 push buttons. Like they bait you. And that probably gives a disservice to these kind of games.
I mean, I play gachas. I'm tragic. I play Arknights. I play plenty of Genshin Impact as well.
You're not fucking helping at all. You're
no. I love that shit. But again, I don't play Genshin on mobile. I played it a bunch on PC. So, you know, call it waifu simulator, call it whatever you like, but it's fucking good. It's good shit.
No, I think it grows the fucking pie. It grows what people think esports is. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I was really blown away by how much mobile this year, but maybe I cast Brawl Stars, right? That, like, compared to the reach of Free Fire and stuff, it's not huge, right? And their esports also, I mean, you know, like, there's a lot of people that play Brawl Stars, but, like, the conversion of those players to viewers, I don't think they've figured it out yet. But I realize, like, mobile games are genuinely going to be a big part of the future in esports. Brawl Stars is like a 3v3 MOBA. It's really easy to get into. It's whatever. I'm like, I want to cast this. This seems fun. It seems like this game has enough depth to justify the investment of time and actually trying to fucking take the game seriously. You know, and Supercell looks after their talent really well. So big shout out to Frank and the crew over there. So I recommend if you're a caster, and you know, I know a lot of people jumped on the old Wild Rift train when they saw it come out. Yeah.
Here we go. I think it's good to have at least an iron in that particular fire because who fucking knows where it could go.
It's very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, and I wonder how it's going to adapt. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on it.
As we do here in the fucking control room, monitoring things as they develop with our billions of screens and our mobiles that we definitely don't game on. Anyway,
I guess I have one more question for you. Maybe you don't have the answer. Maybe chat does.
All right, ask me something.
These games. So let's talk about the mobile ones.
Yeah.
On the esports side, pro players, similar contracts, similar salaries, make a good wage to do this, or has that not caught up?
No. I mean, many of the organizations are like super legit.
So there's heroes and superstars in these games too, like we see in all our
Absolutely.
That's fucking awesome.
Good example. I'll take Brawl Stars as a game that I'm more familiar with, right? You have teams like Zeta Division, right? Well-known Japanese team. They just won the Brawl Stars World Championship. AC Milan Clash. previously known as Clash Gaming. SK Gaming's involved in there. Tribe Gaming, Stamina Esports, a lot of really well-known esports organizations that are there that bring with them, of course, the established structure and sort of treatment of players and sort of their approach to the formalization of the esports. Now, I don't know how things go out in Southeast Asia, but I know that Brand Esports is relatively reputable, right? We've seen that, teams like X10 can get their teams to sort of masters, and Team Secret obviously has a pretty strong presence in Southeast Asia, which is another reputable org. So I'm sure there's some Wild West elements to it, especially. We
have Wild West on our side, so why wouldn't there be Wild West on the mobile side?
I'm preaching to the choir, right?
Yeah, so that's good to know.
It's not some Mickey Mouse bullshit. No, it's definitely, there's a lot going on. Navi has a great Brawl Stars team with all the support stuff, so they're not fucking around, man.
Yeah, because the horrible backstory to this would be this #1 game, Free Fire, the players that got that peak get like $50 a month.
I wouldn't
to play the game. That would be the horrible
I think Loud is a pretty reputable organization. Tons of followers, and I don't think they're fucking about.
Good to hear. No, it's good to hear because you got to have it all. You can't just take advantage of the popularity of something.